Hello and welcome to the Bonehead Championship. I'm Ben from the Bonehead Podcast, and today we've got our Round 1 Match 1 preview for you. Black Mountain Buccaneers, our Black Hawk team, will be taking on the Snotlings this coming weekend. We're going to have a look at the rosters, but most importantly, we're going to break down the rules for our Viewer Championship. So the first team we're going to look at today is our Black Mountain Buccaneers, the Black Hawk team. So we put a lot of these teams to our patrons to figure out the right build, but when it came to this team, there was only one true build, I think, for Black Hawks to get the most punch to the pitch, and we went with the full strength lineup. Okay, so we've got the Troll, we've got Gronk the Troll, we've got Gromagan Zoo, Breeze Block, Greg the Cruel, Aslog Skull Smasher, Zolugs, and Leg Ripper, all 6 Black Hawk blockers here. 4 Goblin Bruisers, we've got Small Saul, Snapper, Tyrone Troll Kisser, Barflog the Brave, and number 12 should be only Grot Brady. I'm assuming Grot Brady is going to be a massive star in the future, potentially for 40 years of Blood Bowl. Who knows? So this team comes in at 955. We've got 2 rerolls, 5k in the treasury, and dedicated fans of 5. So when you look at building this team, there's 45k left over. That was enough to purchase that 12th player. Okay, we could have got that extra goblin, but being able to purchase 4 extra dedicated fans basically guarantees us an extra 20k per game. So we basically invested 40k, and we're likely to see that come back in just 1 or 2 matches, and therefore we can grab that apothecary, we can grab that extra goblin, and basically from there on all we got to do is save up for a reroll. Not sure which way round we'll do it. That will be down to our challengers who run the teams every week, but we want your thoughts as well. Anyway, Black Mountain Buccaneers are here. And we've also got our Snotling team, the Teutwald Tiny Titans. So Snotlings, just a fantastic and unnecessarily fun team, so we had to include them in the series. So with this roster, we've gone with 2 trained trolls. We've got Paul and Barry, the Chuckham brothers, because that's what they're there to do. We've got Triple T, which is the terrible tiny train, or the Teutwald tiny train, or something like that. Triple T, anyway. Pump Wagon is there. We've got Up and Atom, our 2 fun hoppers. Leroy and Jenkins, the 2 stilty runners. Hale and Mary, the fungus flingers. Now we've got 6 Snotlings as well. That basically takes us up to almost max roster. We've got those, but Snotlings are the kind of player that really have to earn names to go, because they're 15k, they don't add to the team value, and they just are there to be punched around. Now what that does is it means we can afford 4 rerolls, still max out our dedicated fans. So we've seen the Orc team's got 5 DF. These guys have spent 50k and boosted it all the way up to 6. Now, we've still got 130k in the treasury, so we are going to have to risk some of that when it comes to the big mistakes when it comes to cash. Can't remember, expensive mistakes. So we could lose that cash. So investing it in the dedicated fans is a really good way to just make sure we still got that income. Now, the trolls with that armor, that strength, and the regeneration probably aren't going to have to replace them too much. I can see us losing some of our positionals. We will have to keep buying Snotlings as we go along, and probably we'll lose a Pump Wagon along the way. The Triple T, we might have to bring back the second Triple T. Now, this keeps our match value at 715. So against most of our opponents, we're going to have 2 to 250k. So when it comes to playing against the Black Orcs, what are we looking at? We're looking at 240. So not quite enough to get all the extras in there, but what we will have is enough for riotous rookies at 100k and 2 bribes at 50k apiece. That's going to mean we can keep the Pump Wagon on for 2 drives potentially, and it leaves us another one for us to go on a little cheeky stomp. If we want to take a foul, we can use the bribe to keep the player on there. Now we've got 2 fungus flingers. I'm not that interested in using a bribe to keep them on the pitch, because they are there to bomb things and then probably die. That's fine, that's what they're there for. They're cheaper than a bribe at 30k a piece. I would like to level one up and get them to accurate, because that's where the fun really begins, but for now, keeping that TV low is pretty good. So I'm psyched about the Snotlings. Should be a good match. Okay, so we've looked through both of the rosters, and when it comes to this matchup, there's a couple of things to bear in mind. The Teutwald Tiny Titans have got 200 plus k in the treasury and the petty cash to spend on inducements. Talk through riotous rookies and those bribes. What's that going to do? What that is going to do for this matchup is it going to mean that the Snotlings are going to have, what, 15 rostered players plus 2d3 plus 1 on the pitch. That's going to mean, what, 18, 19 players on their roster. With swarming, they're going to be able to keep applying them to the pitch. Now, the advantage that the Black Orcs have is their strength. That does get degraded when the Snotlings have got 2 trolls. All right, we've got a troll on the Black Orc team as well. That's going to kind of equal out. But having that many Snotlings just allows you to leave 1 Snotling on 1 key player. Now, the Black Orcs, what, 80k a piece, something like that. 15k to a Snotling. And where that Riotous Rookies is going to be so important is that they are completely free. Like, we don't have to worry about them dying, so we can just keep feeding them to the monsters on the Black Orc team. And if they go, they go. If they do something cool, we'll buy them and bring them onto the team and give them a name. It's like the Snotling version of a sock for a house elf, basically. So I like that. We're going to have the numbers advantage for Snotlings. I'm going to be running them. Now, the downside here is that Black Orcs are going to have Grab, and Grab is huge against Snotlings. Sidestep is a great way to just move your guys around, get them closer to the ball carrier, get them closer to being able to trigger your trolls with friendship, using really stupid with an assist is what I'm trying to say. Black Orcs Grab just turns it off completely. Grab just supersedes it. So our opponent is going to be able to use that block and use those blocks to move our Snotlings around. So we're not going to get any kind of integral bonuses there. Brawler is going to mean that most of those 3-die blocks from the Black Orcs onto the Snotlings are going to become 4-die blocks. Okay, every other one we're probably going to see Brawler ready to go. So the Snotlings are going to die thick and fast, I reckon, but Riotous Rookies is going to give us plenty of ammunition. So I am very excited for the matchup. Black Orcs and Snotlings, they pair pretty well. Snotlings punch above, and Black Orcs just do what Black Orcs do. But this is the part I am most excited about when it comes to the Bonehead Championship this time round. It's something that we did try in Season 2 of 7 Super Series, then COVID and the new edition just ended it straight on up. But what we're going to do is we're going to host another viewer championship. So what we'd like you to do, basically, is in this video here with the comments, and on every week we will have, on the Monday, the preview of the game that comes up the following weekend. We want you to get your guess in of how the game is going to go. All right? It doesn't need to be a paragraph. It just needs to be, so we've got this match here. We've got Snotlings versus Black Orcs. Snotlings win 3-2. That's all you have to put in there. All right? Or a draw. No worries at all. Now, how it's going to work is if you get the right outcome. So if you say Snotlings win and Snotlings win, you'll get a point. If you say Snotlings win 2 touchdowns and they score 2 touchdowns, you'll get another point. If you say Snotlings win, but the Black Orcs are going to score 2, and the Black Orcs score 2, you get 1. So the best way to do is to say Snotlings win 3-2, all right? Or Snotlings win XX, or whatever team you think is going to win, because you can score up to 3 points per round. Well, actually, 3 points per game per round, so 9 points per round max, but we're doing this round 1-1. So correct outcome will give you 1 point if you choose the team that's going to win right, or you say it's going to be a draw. And for each team score you get correct, regardless of the outcome, you will also score a point. So there's a max of 3. So if you say it's going to be a 1-all draw, and it's a 1-all draw, 1 point for each team score and 1 point for the correct outcome will give you 3 points. Now what we're going to do is we're going to keep track of this, and every week in this episode here, the match preview, we'll have a rundown of the viewer championship to see who's running the top. And towards the end of the season, we'll start talking about what Bonehead loot we're going to give away to the winners. You should have enough games in there to keep you entertained, and we should have enough time for players to play catch up. I'm very excited about this. It was great fun to do in Season 2. It's a shame it kind of came to an end before, but hey, worst things in the world happen. Now, this is probably the most important thing. Predictions in by 9 AM UK Saturday. Now, these videos are going to go live Monday, so you've got between Monday and Saturday morning to get them in. That's plenty of time for you to think about the meta. We should be letting you know who's playing the matches most of the time, so you can kind of take that into consideration. Maybe go back and watch some of our other videos and see who are the best coaches in our group. And then the go live, so for patrons or YouTube members, it will be Saturday morning UK. And oh, that says patrons. We'll ignore that bit. It should be everybody else is go live on Sunday as normal. So Patreons and members Saturday morning. Then it goes general release on Sunday morning. So the reason we want predictions in by 9 AM UK is so that we get all the predictions in before we go live with our Patreons. We don't want those guys to have too much of an advantage, but we do want them to have the content early because they support us, and it's a fantastic and massively appreciated thing to do. I think we've covered everything when it comes to the Viewer Championship, and I think we've given a pretty good breakdown of how this match is going to go. So I will now leave it down to you guys to let me know who you think is going to win this match. Let me know who's going to win and what the score is going to be, and let's get this league started. Right, let's go. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to help support the channel even further, please like and subscribe, or come join us on our Patreon. We have early access to content, we get loads of feedback from you guys, and we try and do competitions as much as we can. Or you can get yourself some Bonehead Podcast merch on our Spreadshirt site. So if you want to support a team, especially for the Bonehead Championship, you can pick up a shirt, a mug, things like that. It all helps support the channel, and we really appreciate it. Anyway, links below. Thank you very much. Happy blocking.